everybody. I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. If you are new to our channel, here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
So first and foremost, you guys have been showing out with these views. Do you hear me? Like, we are losing our mind right now. It's like we're in disbelief at how many views we have been getting for our videos in a short period of time. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the support. We want to keep it up. We have definitely been slacking. So the fact that you guys have been showing up anyways is just a super blessing. And I'm just shocked. Like, I don't even know what to say. As much as I've been prepping for exactly how to thank you guys and what to say in our next video to acknowledge just how many views we've been getting and as much all of the support that we're getting. We really have been getting a lot of support. So thank you guys, and let's just keep it up. Let's just keep going, right? Right? Like,
they showing out.
I don't know what to say. I'm just really grateful, and I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked. So I first wanted to mention that. Second, because we're gonna get all of our church announcements out the way. Second, we have to acknowledge we kind of late. We a little bit behind, but it's for good reasons. We did this very random, spontaneous vacation last week, and it has kind of thrown us off on our schedule. So we behind. And when I say last minute, I mean like we ain't booked no hotel or any type of accommodation until the day we left.
Right.
So yeah, that's how we was rolling last week. So forgive us, but we're back. And if you thought for 1 second that we was gonna skip out and just like go to the next episode, you're wrong. We gonna give you a two-parter. We didn't forget about y'all. Y'all supported us, so we gonna support you. How you feeling?
Good to be back.
Yes. Oh, and also another church announcement. Last thing, if we look or sound a little bit different, we are also under construction right now. We are trying to get together a studio within our house. And this is about to be a journey in itself. So just bear with us. We are trying out new equipment. We're trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and editing and all of this other stuff. We're just trying to learn as we go along. So again, thank you in advance for your support and your understanding. Anything else?
I missed them. Let's get to it.
All right, well then let's get into it. The episode starts off, of course, picking up from the previous episode. Dr.Stacey is talking to Kat and Ricky about the comment that Ricky made as far as like what he felt like he was being. Basically, he was saying that he was feeling smothered or feels like Kat need to go busy herself, right? That's basically what he was saying. Kat felt away. I understood why she felt away. However, Dr.Stacey did say something that put everybody at pause. And that was so much, like, more so Kat's reaction. Kat has been saying from the very beginning, she wants to know how Ricky's feeling. She wants him to be honest. And so when he is being honest, he gets attacked for it, is basically what Dr.Stacey was saying. How do I feel about it? I don't know. I understood what Dr.Stacey was saying, and she may have a point. But I also understood where Kat was coming from, because the picture that he was painting to me was one as like she was, again, smothering him. And I don't think she wanted that to come. She didn't want it to come across that way. So I can understand her being a little bit defensive. But Kat was a good sport about it and told Ricky, well, you and I can have a conversation. We can continue to talk about what are some ways to change that, to change how you're feeling, figure out some ways to move forward. So you're not feeling that way. And then I'm also feeling like I'm being heard, and I'm not feeling like my whole life just revolves around you and your kids and your family. Like, we both feel like we have time to miss each other on both sides. Is basically how I took it. Anything for that?
You know, I guess I can see for both. Like I said, if Ricky's painting a picture, especially in front of everybody that Kat was not aware of, I can see how that can get her riled up. Like, what are you talking about? Which is why they had that blow up and walked off the, what's it called when they're in the camera room?
Like their confessional?
Their confessional.
Yeah.
That's why the blow up happened. But then again, you know, Kat had some points because it depends about the family dynamics in the house. Like I said, the whole house is packed. Depending on what Kat is doing for Ricky, the other family members, I know she does some things for the kids. I mean, she has no choice but to be right there.
Right. I mean, we talked about this for the last review that we did, and kind of how we felt about that. But again, felt like Dr.Stacey kind of got the point across, and whatever. I'm kind of over that part of their storyline. But anyways, so this episode, guys, is the infamous, you guys are all going to go out on a date at the same place at the same time. They do this every season. Every season, it always causes people to get a little bit uncomfortable because picture you being out on a date with somebody else that's not your man, but your man is across the dang on room with somebody else. It's a little awkward. So, of course, everybody felt awkward about it. But they all are going out on dates this week. Just to remind everybody from the decisions that was made, I think the last episode, Jaisha and Joya both decided to give their previous dates, a second chance. So they will be going out on a second date with each of their person. And Kat decided to go out on a second date with Marcus. And Ricky decided to go out on a third date with Sheila. Okay. And Zay and Jasmine both decided they wanted new people. So, yeah, that was the decision. So you guys know how we do this. We go by couple and not by event. So we're going to start with Ricky and Kat, since we were already kind of talking about them. So let's go ahead and get them out the way. So, like I said, Kat decided to go on another date with Marcus. We like Marcus. I like Marcus. He's cute. And he's listening. He's applying pressure. he's applying pressure. So both Ricky and Kat, they are going on dates to the bowling alley. So they're both going bowling with their dates. And Marcus shows up, comes to pick her up. She's all cheesing, ear to ear. Now, mind you, at this point, Kat is still feeling a way that Ricky is going out on a third date with Sheila. That's very obvious. And is clearly game for doing this whole tit for tat thing. But I have to admit, I think that was her intentions going into the date with Marcus, but I think she really is starting to like Marcus. That's my opinion. And like I said, he's applying a lot of pressure. And from being very, very attentive, being very just taking initiation and telling Kat exactly how he feels and giving her compliments and the chivalry and the everything, like just really making her feel special. And that's something that is clear that she's lacking in her relationship with Ricky. So I think it's gonna get very interesting because I think she's really starting to like dude.
She is. I feel like one of the things they were talking about at the bowling alley that they had in common was, I know both of them into real estate. I know she likes the attention Marcus is giving her. Because, I don't know, we all know Ricky's a little way laid back.
Is that the word we're using for Ricky?
He's We'll figure out words later, but Ricky's a little too laid back. And, you know, Kat, she seems to enjoy the assertiveness Marcus is giving. You know, the PDA. He's just really making it known that, you know, he's really into her. He's just very intentional through actions and, you know, verbiage.
Right. Like I said, I like Marcus. So, I mean, he's not bad on the eyes, but I think more importantly, it's just, you know, him being very upfront, knowing exactly what he wants and making it clear that's what he wants. He wants her, right? So I feel like, you know, all attention is on her. He's like, you know, they're bowling guys. So they're, you know, when she's trying to bowl, like he's behind her trying to show her how to bowl. He's all smelling her neck. Like he's getting very intimate with her. And as uncomfortable it was making me, I was like, oh my gosh, like this. I actually thought that Kat was going to move just in spite, like she was just trying to prove a point to Ricky, but I truly think that she was enjoying this date and did not care about Ricky. So speaking of Ricky and Sheila walk in. So Sheila walks in with her outfit. That was a choice.
Looking like the Tin Man.
That was a choice. Why you say Tin Man? Why you say Tin Man?
You know who the Tin Man is?
I know who it is, what I'm saying.
Them boots, boy.
Oh. Well, I don't know what she looked like, but all I know is that was a choice.
They're walking like the Tin Man.
That was a choice. Choices. So anyways, they walk in and Kat is like, oh, hey, Sheila. Hey, Ricky. Like, she is just, she is so unbothered by them being there because she is just really focused on Marcus. And I think some people that's probably watching felt like, oh, she just doing that to get under Ricky's skin. But I really don't think so. Like, I really think she did not care in the moment, which that is the scary part. The scary part is when you truly are not worried about the other person because you so focused on who you want to date with. And she was focused on Marcus and Marcus was focused on her.
Well, I mean, I feel like, you know, they knew what they're doing, though. She didn't mind trying to pull some emotions out of Ricky.
No, I think she was throwing a little dig, yeah.
That's what she wants to see, so I know she didn't mind a little extraness here or there because she wants to see some emotion. Because for her, emotion shows that he cares.
Right. So, but my thing is not even just... Well, yeah, I think emotions will cover everything. But, like, Ricky don't do nothing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of focus on Kat, and I get it. As the episodes are going, I'm starting to learn more and more about Kat, and I'm starting to realize how she has been part of the problem. But at the same time, I think there's been so much focus, and even in the social media land, I feel like a lot of people got a lot to say about Kat and less about Ricky. And I feel I have a problem with that because, again, I said this before, I've already come to the conclusion that he's giving bum. I'm still standing on that until somebody proves me wrong and shows me something different, but I'm just going based off of what I'm seeing. And I just feel like Ricky takes no initiative. Like, he's not taking any type of initiative. And who wants to be with a man like that? That doesn't make any type of decisions, that just, again, you just so laid back to the point where you have no opinion or feeling about anything. Like, who, not just a man, but who would want to be with anybody like that? You're not giving me anything. I mean, she even said, and this was towards the end of the episode, that, you know, when it comes to even like the sugary thing, like, his son will open car doors for Kat, and then she'll be like, see, like, he's doing it. He's the son. And so, you know, like, to me, that's just, it's unacceptable. That's a big thing for me. Manners, chivalry, courting, and all of that stuff means a lot to me when dating someone, dating a man. And he gives none of that and no initiation at all. So it's a no for me. But like I said, it seems like Marcus is the complete opposite. While they were sitting talking, he said something and I wrote it down. I'm looking at my laptop, my notes. But he was telling her, like, basically, like, continuing to push her and try to get her to explain, like, well, why are you with this person and he's not showing you how he feels? There are no flowers, or him telling you that you're beautiful, or him doing something as simple as opening up car doors for you, or whatever. Like, where's the romance part and the intimacy and all of that? And he says, I think Kat was kind of sort of starting to try to make excuses for him, but then he made a comment and he was like, well, two halves make a whole, but two wholes make a couple. And I was like, oh, I like that. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to say that a lot. So y'all going to get sick of me with that. But I like that. Because he may not know this, but I think it definitely speaks to the Kat and Ricky situation. Because again, he was already living in his parents' house. I'm not going to let this go, because I think this is a big part of their story and their dynamic. He was already living with his family, and he gets his girl to move out of state, out of her hometown, there to move her in to the house with his family. And that's what I mean about you not being whole, or having some of your foundation in order before thinking about being in a relationship or being able to provide for your person. And so I think that really spoke to that part of it. And I thought that was just a good little quote to write down. So Ricky and Sheila are talking, and at first, like, he was making like little sly remarks, like right before they was like going to commercial break. It was clear that he was getting a little bothered by Marcus, because like I said, he was smelling her neck, getting real close to her, like, put his hands on her hips at one point. He even tried to lick a stain off of her shirt at one point. It was getting a little spicy. So he was making little comments, and Sheila was like, okay, like, let's just focus over here. And they were talking, and she was trying to, she was even telling him, like, you have to show her that she's special. If she's telling you that's what she's missing, like, you need to show that to her. Like, that has to be priority.
That's so weird. Somebody you're on a date with is telling you this stuff.
Yeah, and she even made it like a little joke about how, you can practice on me and, get it right. But I don't understand why anybody would be attracted to Ricky, to be quite honest. Again, he just be standing there. He just be standing there. He just don't care. Like, I cannot. But, every time he goes out on a date with Sheila, more and more, I'm just feeling like they're giving a homeboy, homegirl vibes. Like, I'm not feeling like, he can act like he's all intrigued, but it's giving friend. And I feel the same way about him and Kat. Like, he just looks like the homeboy, like the homie. He feels like the homie. He doesn't feel like somebody that you would date. Like, I don't know. That's my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about Jaisha and Joya. So they both decide to go out on second dates, with Brittany for Jaisha and Jacoby for Joya. Now they're going to the gym. Brittany comes to pick up Jaisha. Now, Joya is looking good, like she always do. She had on this nice red. Cute.
Fire.
She's cute, right? Y'all know I like I like Joya. That's my girl.
Fire.
So, here comes Brittany. Now, y'all know, if y'all saw the previous review, I don't like her. I don't like her. And I told y'all something about her was not right. The first time we met her, she was doing too much. And she proves my point in this episode. She was doing too damn much. Sit down.
Twerking in the gym.
She brings her happy ass into their home. And her whole energy, like, girl, like, she really think this is a competition. Like, she thought this was this isn't a competition show. This isn't how this works. Right? That's not what we're doing.
Right.
But she was, her energy towards Joya was just really unnecessary, because Joya really wasn't on that time. Like she said, she was like, I'm not really happy with her coming in my house, taking out my man. Like, nobody's happy about that. I don't really want to see you right now, but I'm gonna play nice. And that's exactly what she did. But then Brittany's ratchet ass was like, oh, well, where are you going? Because, you dressed up in athletic wear too. And then she was like, Joya said, well, I'm going with y'all. We going to the same place. And then she was like, oh, okay, well, like, I guess the competition's on now. And no, it's not. What competition? What are we talking about? She tried it.
Delusion.
She tried it. Don't like her. So Jacoby meets Joya at the gym. So when Jacoby and Joya walk into the gym, again, here go Brittany. She's twerking and like drop like in front of Jaisha. Mm-hmm. And see this. This is the problem. This is the problem. It's like she wants to get slapped, and I don't understand why. Like, why are you choosing violence today? That's weird. That's weird. Stop it.
Yeah, because I believe he was trying to stretch her out because they just got to the gym, and as soon as Jaya walked in, Joya,
mm-hmm.
I guess she's putting on for the 99 and the 2000s.
I don't know what she was doing, but she was being extra. She was extra. And what's funny is that Jaisha's not even paying attention for real.
Nah, he won't.
He was not moved by it. He was like, girl, you're doing all of this for what?
A lot of us aren't moved by it.
I can't with women like that. That was a lot. That was a lot to me. Sit down. Sit down. Doing too much. She think this is a competition show. So you want to also know who was doing the most? That's Jacoby. So Jacoby's clown ass comes into the gym. First of all, I don't even know what type of pants he had on. Maybe it was sweatpants. I have no idea. But he had on all black, and he had on this big, thick, gaudy chain, right? Because he's a clown. So he likes clownery. And I called this the previous episode. Wasn't feeling him. He do too much, right? So.
And any dude that wears a chain to the gym does not go to the gym.
That part.
Only true gym people know that.
That part. And I don't know if he thinks that us women are paying attention to that in the gym. Because that is one indicator that you don't work out. Why do you have on this thick chain? What is happening? I don't even know what his response was because Jaisha called it out. Mm-hmm. Because I might say that this might be the first time that they've done this whole going out on a date at the same time at the same place, and the couples acknowledge each other at the date. I don't remember if that's ever happened.
Yeah, it did when Lonzo and old girl.
Well, she was trying to fight the girl. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like you really acknowledging your significant other, because as soon as Jaisha and Jacoby walked in, they walked up to Brittany and Jaisha.
Yeah, I think it's the first one.
And they gave each other a kiss. Like, they acknowledged that they were in the same place. And that's what I'm talking about, why, like, they just belong together. I love them together, and their level of respect for each other is just beyond. So, anyways, when they walk up to them, Jaisha called it out. He was like, you got your bling on for what? Like, are you here to work out? Like, what are you doing? You look like a clown. It's weird. Because, of course, Jaisha had the full, athletic gear on. He's there to work out. What? And also, sir, like, listen, the loudest person in the room, finish the sentence. I can't. It's not attractive. It's weird. So again, Brittany doing too much. She's over there trying to be touchy feely with Jaysha, whatever. Don't like her. So then this is when my antennas perked up, because I was like, oh, he's really a clown ass dude. They're having a conversation, Jacoby and Joya. And the conversation comes up, and I feel like Joya is the one that asked. She said, you know, would you ever date a single mom, or have you dated single mothers before? Guys, you ready for this? Let's get started. So this clown says to her, basically, he has dated a single mother before in the past. He's done it in his early 20s. And he basically felt like it came with some issues or whatever. Long story short, he said that his preference is not to deal with women that have kids. He chooses not to date. He doesn't want to date single mothers, even though he's sitting here talking to a single mother, or not a single mother. Well, technically single, because she's not married. But you're sitting here talking to a mother, and he says to her he is a high value man and knows he can get, and only, I guess, pursues like other high value women, and then try to backtrack and says, I'm not saying single mothers are not high value, but when I'm ready to travel or go somewhere, do something, like not to have to think about your child, or when your child gets like in their teens, it's like the whole "you're not my dad" thing or whatever. So he's going on and on about that. Of course, Joya is sitting there very turned off, and in disbelief that this fool is sitting here on this date with her saying these things, and he already knows that she has a son. I mean, that was said in the first date. So very fascinating.
He definitely put his foot in his mouth.
It was fascinating. So he just goes on and on about single mothers. So before I go off, is there anything you want to say?
He just really put his foot in his mouth. I mean, you know, when it comes to, like I said, single parents, man, a girl, or a guy, you know, it takes a special person to, you know, take on that task. You need to be responsible. You know, you gotta be understanding too, and this is gonna take some patience. But you know, not everybody has those characteristics to date somebody with a child. And somebody with a child, it doesn't mean that. How should I say? Somebody with a child, it doesn't mean that, oh, like they're intimidated by, okay, like, put it this way, I got y'all now. Everybody love to think about when it comes to dating somebody with a child, either the baby mama or the baby daddy. And you know, some of these people with kids, they already have a formula, like, you know, they already have boundaries with their baby mama, child's father, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, it's about being prepared to what you walk into, but how Jacoby verbalized it in this episode, he definitely put his foot in his mouth.
That's an understatement. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Right? I'm so tired of you problematic people. I'm really trying not to say the N-word, y'all. I'm trying to take it out of my vocabulary, so forgive me, because it was about to happen. I'm tired of you problematic people saying problematic things and then covering it up by labeling it as your preference. Okay? Let me tell you. Because reality is, me and Jacoby feel the same way as far as dating someone with kids. Evan and I wasn't together. I did not want to date somebody with children. Evan doesn't have any children, but I'm saying before him, if we were, you know, never met, I would not be dating someone that had kids, right? But here's the thing. Our reasonings are totally different. For me, number one, I'm in my 20s. So with that, I know I am not ready, nor am I in a place in my life to deal with that type of responsibility. I take it very serious when it comes to raising children and being an adult figure or a parental figure in a child's life. I take it very serious. I feel like there's a level of responsibility that comes with that, especially if you're an addition to, right? Like if I am not blood related to this child and I'm in this child's life, I take that duty and that role very serious. And I know that I am not in the place in my life, or before meeting Evan, I was not in a place in my life where I was ready for that type of responsibility. I'm still in my selfish stage, right? Hence why I don't have any kids. Because there are things that I do want to do. I want to travel. I want to be able to do different things when I want, how I want, without having to think about somebody else, thinking about especially a child. So it's more about me. I'm not ready. However, I am 29 now, already in a relationship. Let's fast forward, let's say 5 years from now. Again, let's say we're not together and I'm back on the dating scene. I know for a fact that at 35 or like 34, 35, my mid 30s, the pool of men is going to be different. More than likely, I'm meeting men that do have children, and I feel like I would be in a different point in my life then where I would be open to taking on that responsibility, taking on that role, because I'll probably be in a different place in my life. So again, it's about me and what I can handle. And I am woman enough, I'm adult enough to acknowledge, you know what, this is a lot of responsibility. I'm not ready for this yet. So that is why I wouldn't date someone with children right now, because I'm not ready. Nothing to do with somebody being lesser than, high value, none of that. Because some of the best men can be out here with kids. That has nothing to do with anything. It's about me. I can't handle it. Me right now. So again, all of you problematic ass people, dudes in particular, that go, because I hear this more from dudes running around talking about how they don't want to date a woman with kids, and their reasonings are so problematic. And then they cover it up by saying that's my preference. They do the same thing with colorism. Oh, I don't want to date her because she's dark, she's too dark. That's my preference. I prefer light skinned girl. Like all of that foolishness, perpetuating again problematic ideas and covering up by saying that's what it's just your preference and what you prefer is some bull crap. And that's why calling that out for what it is, it's foolish. And y'all aren't being honest. When reality is you don't want to date somebody with kids because for multiple reasons. Number one, again, you're probably still in your selfish stage. Whatever your reasonings are, I feel like the problem comes with how you explain it. And if your explanation is steeped in sexism and just misogyny, that is my problem. And also, how old are you? How old is he? Because I know he mentioned his age, but I don't remember his age from their first date. But I know he's in his 30s. I
thought he was about 39.
And Joya is 38. Right. So once again, difference between men and women, one of the many differences, guys can be having kids until they freaking 98 years old if they want. Women, we all know, to naturally have kids, like we're stuck on this timeline. We can only have kids once we get to a certain age, like without having any type of complications. And I know there's women out here that's having kids in their 50s and all this other stuff, but on the grand scheme of things, we are between the ages like 21 and like 35. People are constantly pushing you to have kids because our body isn't going to be doing what it used to do. So for you to think that you're going to meet a woman in her late 30s with no kids at this high value or whatever you were trying to say is ridiculous to me. And it's immature. How old are you? It's weird. Stop it. I can't. But that's my feeling on his foolishness. And y'all have to really stop that. Again, you can have your preference, but make sure that you articulate it well and that you take a deeper look at yourself and ask yourself, well, why is this my preference? Like, dig a little bit deeper before you get on national television and embarrass yourself like that. Because it was, yeah, you look like a clown. So there's that. You got anything to say about it?
He won't be getting a third date.
Okay, so then last couple is Jazz and Zay. So Jazz and Zay. All right, so there's a scene right after they do their group session. Jazz is trying to talk to Zay about one of her biggest issues in their relationship is communication. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to express to him about her frustrations with his communication. Like, she feels like he doesn't hear her. Like, he's listening, but do you really hear what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like you're hearing me. Zay's sitting there slouched, like he doesn't understand the words that's coming out of her mouth. Like, he's so like kind of confused. He once again tells her how she shouldn't feel a particular way without doing right. I can't. You can look at Zay and see that their biggest issue is communication.
I mean, Zay did even say too, he was like, I mean, I be listening to her, but I's got to respond.
All right, so that was a frustrating conversation. She got nowhere. So then, I want to say Zay's dates, and what is her name? Naya. Naya's her name. She comes to the house to pick him up. So, mind you, this is the week that they're all going out dates with each other. So, of course, Jasmine is sitting there too. She's ready for her date as well. So when the girl comes and picks him up, very pretty girl. Naya is, let's give some information with her. She is 31. She's an entrepreneur and she's originally from Detroit. Those fun facts about her. She was a cute girl. Yeah. And soon as she walked in, Zay was like googly eyed with her and was like, you know, no disrespect to my lady, but you're beautiful. Why did you laugh?
I was just saying, Zay was like, come on. It's a come on, son moment.
So what do you think that was wrong for him to say that in front of Jazz? So, look, long story short, Jasmine got really upset about that. She was like, you know, how dare you, like, compare me and her in my house, in our home. Like, what? Like, she really felt a way about him calling her beautiful in front of her and, like, comparing.
I mean, let's see, because what was her name?
Naya.
I mean, Naya was fire. I'm gonna lie, Naya was fire. But that could have been something Zay kept in his mind.
About how beautiful she is?
I mean, because the first thing he says, ain't no disrespect to my wife, but, you know, it's one of those things where he could have kept that inside. And then I think maybe an underlining thing dealing with that comment is, you know, in their relationship, we don't know if Zay compliments her at all or gives her that verbal feel of affirmation and stuff, confirmation. You know, that could be an issue in the relationship. So for him to say that can possibly be why she was triggered and really felt disrespected. And she pointed out about him trying to compare. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like there's something underlying, like he's done something like that before.
Well, we've already recognized that Zay is very inappropriate. He says things that he shouldn't say. He lets things happen with his lady that shouldn't happen. So he's very, he doesn't know how to read a room at all. That's very clear. Like, he doesn't pick up on context clues. And he's also a horrible communicator. So we know that up for rip. So I wasn't shocked by what he said. I will say this. I'm not the type of woman, I'm not jealous in that way. in our relationship at all. Like, I mean, listen, we've been doing these reviews and he has mentioned Joya being beautiful or, you know, whatever, making comments about other women. I do the same. None of that matters to me. I don't care. If we're walking down the street and you acknowledge and say, oh, she's very beautiful, which you don't really ever do. But I don't care about stuff like that. But I do think that it's a way that you do stuff. So when Naya walked in, it could have been very easy for her to be like, oh, okay, like, oh, it's nice to meet you. You looked really nice tonight or today, whatever, right? And keep it moving. Then when they get together, he can be like, yeah, you're very beautiful. You're a very beautiful woman. Being very respectful. There's a way to give somebody a compliment and be respectful. I think he did too much, or said too much in front of Jasmine, but I also felt like she fed way too much into it. But I can understand how she feels, because in the moment I probably would have felt a way too. Like, you can compliment another woman, that's fine, but make sure you keep it cute though. Now I ain't saying that, like, you don't get to get wild with your comments, but I don't know. She was really upset about it though.
Yeah, them eyes lit up.
Yeah, she was really upset. And yeah, he was giving old girl the googly eyes.
Yeah, that was fired though.
Well, okay, see, that's enough. I'm just kidding, guys. Okay, so they go out to dinner and Jasmine meets her date at the restaurant, and his name is Sean Carter. Very easy to remember. He's 37, he's a network engineer, and he's from South Carolina. So, side note, y'all know I love a good side note. Her dress was so cute, and I'm talking about Jasmine. She had like on this little cute little baby doll dress. Our baby doll dress is still in, because I love baby doll dresses. It's very cute. She looks cute. But anyways, they get into the restaurant, and instantly Zay is like laser focused on Jasmine and her date, like instantly. And Jasmine ain't paying him no mind. Sean Carter, I have to say his whole name, guys, because I have to. I can't help it. But Sean Carter, he was very nice, very respectful, and he seemed very intelligent. And they just had like this very natural, ongoing conversation. It seems very authentic. We also find out that Jasmine's originally from New York. And we also find out that she lost her dad and he lost his mom. So they were talking about that. Like, they were having a really good conversation, to the point where, like I said, Jasmine was not at all focused on Zay.
I don't think she looked at him once.
I don't think so either. I don't think she looked over there not one time.
Meanwhile, Zay the whole time is looking over Na's shoulder. She's trying to talk to him. Trying to have a conversation with him. It's nothing but short, dead air. What was that? What'd you say? Like, he paid her no mind.
And this is the second time that this has happened. That's how I know, like, Zay, where's the substance? He don't talk about nothing. She had a spicy margarita. He like, oh, what does that mean? Like, they put hot sauce in it. Like, that's as much as he was really giving.
Oh yeah, so that's when he said hot sauce. He named like two other things too.
A jalapeno.
Yeah, trying to make a joke.
Right, and nobody was laughing.
It just was just like, bro.
It was awkward. It was weird. It was like he was giving nothing. So he's not talking to the poor girl. She keeps trying to like push for conversation. He's giving her nothing. So then I think as Naya was talking, she mentions about, because I know she just walked in. She meaning Jazz. And like Zay got a little hot and bothered and was like, what you mean she? Her name's Jasmine. Like, like put some respect on my lady's name. I'm like, well, where was all of this energy with the friend? With the homeboy that was threatening Jasmine? Like, oh, now you piping up? Like, what? Okay, Zay, whatever. Anyways, Jasmine's having a good time. She's having good conversation. I'm pretty sure that's the best conversation she's had in years because, oh my God, like, how do you talk to Zay? That doesn't, wow, that gets nowhere. So that was their date. So they all come together again. They end the episode with their group session with Dr. Stacey to talk about their dates. We start just like how we ended with Kat and Ricky. Kat gives her, synopsis of what happened on her date. She really enjoyed it. She loves Marcus clearly. Likes his energy. Everything's going well. And then she mentions how, he was giving her the things that she's been asking from Ricky. And that's when she brought up the comment about the sun opening up doors for her and stuff like that, what I mentioned earlier. And so Dr. Stacey asked Ricky, Ricky, how did it make you feel? Like, how did it make you feel being in the same space with Kat being on this date with somebody that she's really liking? And he was like, I wasn't worried about it. He don't have no emotion. He don't have no emotion. He don't got nothing to say. And Dr. Stacey's like, you have nothing to say? Like, you didn't feel anything. And he's like, yeah, no, I didn't really feel much.
And he got hot and bothered when he saw, I think it was the scene where Marcus was smelling her neck. What would Ricky say?
He was just like, this dude.
Yeah, he's like, this dude, and he's talking about boundaries.
Right. He did mention something about boundaries, like, so like there is no boundaries or whatever. Now. Whatever, dude. But that's how the show or this episode ended. I have no hope for Ricky and Kat. I really don't at this point. To me, I just feel like they're on the wrong show. I'm going to say this every review that we do. They are on the wrong show. They belong on House Hunters. If it's not House Hunters, then they belong, we can't do Ayala because Ayala's gone now. I don't know. It just shouldn't be this show. Marriage should not be a part of the conversation, but okay. I think we already know kind of what's going to happen in the next episode, because again, we're 2 episodes behind. But at the time, I was predicting that Kat was definitely going to go on a second date with Marcus. I think that this fool Ricky is really going to choose Sheila again. I think he's really that stupid. So I think he's going to go out on another date with Sheila. It's very obvious and clear that Jaisha and Joya are not choosing another date with those fools that they went out with. Can't. You know what? Jacoby and Brittany, how about y'all date? That works. Like, y'all seem like y'all are, 2 problematic people. Y'all should be together. That should work. And y'all both love theater. Like, y'all love performance. So y'all should be together. And then Zay is clearly not choosing another date with the chick that he went out with Naya, because I don't even think he remembers her name.
I think even if he said he wanted to, she denied.
That, and then he doesn't even remember going on a date. He don't remember. And I think that Jasmine is going to choose a second date with Sean Carter.
Yep.
That's what I think. But if you guys really want to know what happens for real, click on the next video. Click on part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2. We'll be back.